Alright, what's going on, guys? So, let me see if I can just run this without it. I'm going to do the direct drive conversion on this Ender 3 V2. Okay? So, we're going to start by getting some of this stuff taken care of here and just mock up our brackets. We have several different brackets that we've printed. Some might work, some might not. And then we're going to see if we can put the dual gear on it. If we can't, we can't. So we're just going to jump right into it. First things first, we need to get this screw off the cover back here. And while we're doing that, let's go ahead and heat it up. So that we can retract the deal here. I need a T handle instead of Allen wrenches. It'd be so much easier. I'm gonna go magnetize this thing. It's not magnetic. Okay. All right, so, and I'm going to look for the proper wrench because I don't like using these, but I mean, you know, if you don't have a shop full of tools or whatever, then I understand. So, I think this is an 8mm, but I'm not 100% sure. The advantage to using this is I can put the box end on it, and it's actually not really 8mm. It's I'm not sure. Maybe it's actually American standard stuff. I find that to be unlikely, but if it's not 8, well, then it would have to be 7, because. So it's not 7, and it's too sloppy to be 8, so I guess the Chinese are actually using standard. Because it would make it like maybe a 5/16, maybe. Alright, we got a snap-on wrench. Why does that fit sloppy too? Okay, that's really strange. So 5/16 and 8mm fit sloppy. Okay. Now, the next size from that would be. What about? I don't use a lot of standard. I can't really think of what it would be because you get 5/16. It's pretty much a quarter. I mean, there's some strange sizes in between, but it's not quarter. This isn't quarter. All right. We're at 223. Let's go ahead and just yank it out. All right. Now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and shut the printer off. In fact, I'm going to get a ratchet. It's like, why not, right? I thought I had one in here. Okay. go to the other toolbox. Quarter. Nine millimeter. 6. 5/16. All right. We're using Snap-on tools to work on a printer. How cool is that? Now I like to leave the nut on the end there. And we got to get this part off too. I'll try to be kind of careful not to booger this up. Now, we could do the Capricorn tubing maybe. I'm not sure. I think so. What I'll do is I'll leave this one in. These are always really kind of tough. Come on, I just knocked the screw over here. They're kind of tough to get out of here in the first place. Anyway, it's like really hard to get an Allen key behind here because the hot end is in the way. We don't want to remove the hot end, but if you just get in there just right, you should be able to do it. Especially with the ones that they send you, they have a ball end, so it kind of allows you to get in there at a little bit of an angle. Okay, so now we got that, and let's go ahead and get these two out of here. So we'd either go black. I thought I had a red one somewhere. I think I actually put it in the parts box because it didn't print really well. So I get like a few. But let's start with this black one here. And we'll see. We got our chrome wheels off of there. Take our spacers. And spacers need to go in here. It's been my experience that these are going to be 5/16. You may or may not be able to press them in here. If you can, that's probably better because the spacers in most cases are just slightly wider than the printer parts. So if not, you can take a 5/16 drill bit and just, I'm just actually just going to do this quick. Turn it by hand because I did this earlier on another one and I took out too much material. See, that's nice. I was able to just basically put the part in by hand and with a little resistance. Perfect. Okay, see that? All right. So now it goes on this direction. We get these over here. Assuming all the rest of the stuff lines up, you should be able to put your screw through the back of here when it comes time to reattach the faceplate. We're probably going to want to check that. Yeah, it goes through. It's pretty tight fit. Okay. I'm going to check these palm wheels. Seems okay. Okay. Like a little bit of grease coming out of this one. I really need an extra hand. Okay, I think this one's fine. Alright, so now we put our nylocks back on there. These have nylon in the end. That's why they're hard to take off. Anyway. Get our snap-on tools, work on a printer. Start with the hard one first. I don't know why these printers want to sag under pressure. Like my other printers with the dual Z's, they don't sag. Okay. So now then we just take this off and put this there, and this is going to give us the spacing that we want for the other extruder. So literally, we can just leave this one right here, okay? Except for we don't have another motor. Okay. So start with this one here, small one. Put your little blue clip back in here so you don't lose it. Okay. We get another one down in here that you can't get to unless you move this one. So and we got this one here too. Now this one's easier to get to if you run this all the way up here, because then you can rotate your Allen wrench completely around without hitting the frame. I'm just gonna hit this other deal instead. But hey, okay. And actually, what I want to do then is, before I get that out of there, to release as much of the tension as possible. So this is really kind of cool. What I like about these printers is like they're just like so modifiable, you know. So what I like to do then, come in here and put some pressure on this. That way it doesn't bind up on the bolt when you remove it. And then you can remove the bolt. Okay. Well, this is a part that I printed. And Didn't use it very much, but I did use it. Okay. So now we need to remove this one here, the countersunk one. And I'm not sure if we're actually going to be able to use any of these screws. I think that they're probably going to end up being too short. So for all intents and purposes, we might run into a problem. Somebody put like an extensive amount of oil on this, and I believe that's what originally caused the failure on the plastic arm. So anyway, I guess as long as this base is correct. So with this one here, we need to get into the kit, and we need to thread this particular piece onto here that came with the kit. And we've got all the stuff here. So I think it gave us all the bolts that we need. I'm just not sure. But we might have to find some stuff. And then we'll have to change the deal on the extruder. Okay, so and it looks like the threads aren't even the same on any of these. So basically, this is going to sit in here like this. So we just need to figure out, well, how long does this thing need to be? And I'm just going to come in and guess that it needs to be right about there. And then I can trim it again when it's too long. So we know that's too long. Because I want it to go in as far as possible. Also, when you cut these, they tend to like squish. So you could use the Capricorn tube cutters. You can go like this. Take an Allen key. But they squish for sure. I mean, you can grab some pliers. I think I got some over here handy. But the Teflon tubing deforms usually when you cut it. No idea why. So once we know that we're like all the way, because this thing can go all the way up in there, and we want to make sure that we've got this thing as far as it'll go. Right about there is where I want it, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in here, and then you can take your multi-wrench, usually, that'll be the right size, just snug, okay, and then push it all the way down, and it should line up pretty good. It's almost like coupler to coupler on this. This is really cool. There's like this much of a tube that's even visible. Okay, so now we've got, I need to put this over here, and then I need to put this over here so that I know where they're all at. We've got one other screw that is not accounted for off of the deal here. And that's the long screw. So assuming that we're not going to need to use any of these parts, should be good. I do like the little black piece in the red. It kind of gives it a nice touch. But I believe that they're different, so we will need this other stuff. Now, while we're at it, before we get too far, let me see if we can fit it this way without interference. And then also so for some reason our motor isn't clearing here because of probably a failure in the print, so we'll need to come in here and just make a little bit. And that should probably be enough to get it to go in there. If it's not, then we might have to fiddle around a little bit more. I can't really see where it's. There we go. Okay. Anyway, we need to see here where we're going to be, and then I like to take like a Sharpie marker. I think I have one somewhere, and I mark the end of it. Okay, so we found a Sharpie. You can also tell, basically, we're touching the top of that, so our new gear can't be that far. And then I'm going to find the Allen keys for this. They're much smaller. I'm not sure if I actually have any sitting out here. Maybe it's this one. So just be careful when you break these loose. If you don't want to come loose, don't make them go. Okay, so now we've got the motor and we've marked it. We have a pretty good idea of where things are going to be. And now we'll get the gear out of our kit, which very cheaply has only one set screw and not two. Now, I would prefer to have my stepper motor right here. So the gears are going to mesh here. So you will look at how this goes on here. It's going to go on there like that. So the teeth need to go on the bottom. And you probably going to want to have this a little ways below that mark because it looked like it was actually too close to me. I just snugged it, and so then what I'm going to do, position it to where it's going to sit up top, and we're going to get the rest of our screws in here because there's a little bit of preload on that PTFE tube. So we got our kit of stuff, and we'll start with the countersunk screw, which currently, where did I put my key? Now hopefully we don't need to do too much here because this is one of those brackets where the holes are actually quite small, and they'll literally, I'm threading the plastic right now. So if you've ever screwed together two pieces of wood on top of another piece of wood or whatever, you know how as we're threading into this, we're probably going to run into problems trying to reach the thread over here. let me just go ahead and run this thing in all the way. So yeah, it is literally threaded into the plastic very well. So now I got to back it out. Till it's just about flush, or I'm going to have to take a drill out. I don't want to do that. It doesn't want to thread easily into the motor from where I'm sitting. So this could end up being a pain to get these to all thread. They gave us 3? One of these has got to be for something else. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do this little trick with an Allen wrench. I'm gonna remove this one, and usually you take the next size up. Because this is gonna be hard. These holes are too small. Set our stepper right there. We just come in here like this with the next size up. And it's easy to do because the Allen key has a ball head. So now it should be pretty good. I just did this on the other one. I don't know if you can see it over here. That one over here that's printing. The Ender V2 Neo. Yeah, Neo. The Neo. Okay. God, I don't know why this guy put oil all over these. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. But anyway, they got oil on them. Okay. Still doesn't really want to go in. Come on. So it's because I've got that tube just shoved all the way up into that thing, and the reason that you want to do that is so that when you try and load your filament, there's no gap in between this hole right here. You don't want a gap there. So if you preload the PTFE, it'll help because it'll push into there and also push into there, and that way you won't get any leaks. I can see, that it's just like a hair too long, but that's okay. So we got that one mostly in, and you don't want to tighten these up all the way because you got a couple more to do, and you may need to wiggle them around a little bit and make things fit a little better. So it looks like this one here is, neither one of them have threaded through. Lovely. Okay, so But I might actually have to go and drill this, because right now I'm having trouble with that. So that one did finally thread. This one is still not trying to thread into the stepper motor. We're going to be up a little more. It's really hard to do this when, you know, damn it. Okay. I don't know why they couldn't make the holes a little bit bigger in the diagram. There we go. Funny, I just like started to suck it in. Like I was trying to just keep going to kind of tear out the threads of the plastic, because we don't really want the plastic threaded. I mean, yeah, it's cool, but I think that another thing too is it looks like we might have an angle issue down here. So I have to see about so I'm going to have to push, try and get these other ones in. So down here, this isn't even the correct one right here anyway. I didn't realize it. So this is actually the one where I'm pivoting at. The other two bottom ones are supposed to have the regular screws. That's okay. So if we can't get these bottom ones to go, then we're probably going to have to do some drilling. Yeah, I'm gonna drill it. I'm not doing this. I've already wasted enough time. So you may have to do this too. You don't even necessarily have to drill it, but you just need to make the holes bigger. Because they're the size of where you. I think they've intentionally done them like this so that you can. So that you can basically thread them yourself. You could go like this. I don't really want to like get my drill out and start drilling for gold here. So if I can do this, this is PETG, so should be fine. Now, if I just take a screw here, go see if it'll go through. It won't, so let's get the drill. Let's see, maybe the first bit I grabbed. Nope. Like, don't mind my El Cheapo or IOB drill bit kit. I'm going to use that one, I think. Little tight fit there. Okay, Perfect. We got plenty of room. It's a little bit too big, actually. Well, that's okay. A lot of the prints actually print with an oval shaped set of holes and center, which I think is awesome. Okay. Oh wow, we scratched up that. Okay. Threaded it in the first time. Let's get the other bottom one. Okay. Perfect. I think. Can't tell. Seemed like it. Okay. That's still kind of a tight fit here. What the hell? So this damn thing doesn't want to go in. Come on. If we made the holes big, and this is this, I'm not sure why it's not lining up. Good Lord, come on. Okay, I think I finally. Nope. Wait, it really is. This is really fighting me. I don't know. But maybe I'm just where I'm at on this. I'm gonna have to loosen these other two. If this keeps being a problem, I might just actually have to print a completely different part, you know? Because I think what it is I think the motor is just not sitting down in here correctly. It's like, I don't know why I'm having trouble with this one. The hole looked like it was plenty big. But I'm going to go ahead and pull this one again. All right. Let's see where we're getting into trouble here. I think I just need to make it a little bit bigger up there. Ironically, in my haste, I never drilled that one. That's pretty funny. So that one never got drilled until just now. Okay. Hilarious. So I was like, why is this still fitting in here really tight? I never drilled it. Okay, there we go. And I just dropped one of our parts on the floor. Just gonna wiggle this till it goes in. Is it going to thread? Yes, it is. Now, for this one, I must be getting tired because I'm making mistakes. I'm sure this is real fun to watch. Okay, we got that one. Snug up this one. And then we snug up this one. The last one is underneath this arm that we have to do the whole damn thing because you can't put that bolt in. Alright, I'm going to pause the video. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so this is a little tricky. So I would tell somebody who's doing this after I've done it, assemble the motor and the hot end, or excuse me, the extruder first, because you can't get to this piece here. Well, in actuality, you can't get to it anyways, because if you assemble it on here, it's still blocked by this. So the way these are adjustable is right in here, and there isn't really a good way to do this. With this design, you're just not going to be able to get to it. And so I've just now tightened that. What I have to do is come in here, and I've got to back this screw out because it has this little piece here that I just dropped down into the printer that sits here, and you need that to be able to rest on there to hold the spring, but it's also designed to adjust it. I really don't know where that piece just went. It's not good. So we need to roll this down. And now I'm going to have to come back when I find the piece. It's going to be a minute probably. Alright, that was fun. So, let's see the little piece there. I finally found it. Dropped it God knows where. Okay, so the rest of what we need to do here is get this arm on here, get the spring in there, and so that technically there's a little blue clip that's supposed to go in there too. Can we get then the screw here. It just screws in there. They kind of snug it. Now the other screw usually is a different size. Yep. Okay. We need to see what our gear is. Okay. So our gear has to come way the hell out. We literally can see where it goes. I did not know that the tolerances were this tight on this thing. So let me bring the camera in real quick. So this is what I wanted you guys to see. See that PTF tube in there? That's why I did this the way I did it. I have it jammed in there. Okay. I wanted it to be preloaded and as tight as possible because this is where you get the heat creep and also other issues. So anyway, this has got to be absolutely perfect right there. And then I will come in. Looks good to me. Okay. Now, this piece here comes in over here, and we just need to make sure it's lined up, okay? So we'll just take that out. Just look at it and see. It looks pretty good. Now, people are concerned about there being a washer in here and this thing wearing out the bottom. Well, if you look at this, you can see it's probably going to wear it anyways, even if it doesn't have a washer. So it was $7.99 for this thing. Buy another one. I'm sure you'll get many hours out of it before it burns all the way through here. And if it does start to cook through there, once you have enough space, now you can insert a washer. So there you go. All right, so let's finish this up. Hopefully this is helpful to somebody out there. And we just need to get the spring in there without having anything shoot out of here, which could prove to be difficult. So this is exactly how I knew that other one I had was used. So if you look at this spring, if the camera will focus, it's too busy. Okay. So a brand new spring has got this yellow paint on it, and it will not be peeled really anywhere. So the other kit that I had, it's all chipped off all over the place. And that's what happens when they compress. So anyway, we're almost done. We just got to get this spring in here, and it fits really nice on this piece here. So now at the other part, I'm not sure, this really isn't wanting to go in here. It's almost like they gave us something else that wasn't really designed for this. Okay. There. Okay. So now we will have to push down on this a little bit. It's not really that easy, especially on some of these. The spring is really strong. So you're going to be trying to do this and turn this at the same time. Just be careful. Take your time. Maybe get a friend to help you. And after you tighten it, make sure that it moves. I don't know if these are designed to have the pin lock up against the bottom so it has a pivot. It's a lot of tension. I can't see this thing slipping for nothing. And this has not got any adjustment on it either. Okay. When I tighten these, I just like to go like this. Not way out here, because it's the amount of torque that you're applying to it. You don't need to apply a whole ton of torque to this. So let's just take this blue clip. We'll go ahead and just snap it in there. And if I can find the other one, I'd snap it in there too. It's right here. And technically, yeah, it keeps these things from coming undone. So that looks pretty cool. So we have left to do is we take this. So you're gonna pull back this a little bit, and you can just split this, okay? And you're going to get the rest of this thing on here. Ooh, I don't like it when it pulls that hard on that. So you get the rest of this thing on here. It's got some spots it snaps in. You just look for them on the other side first, because that's the easiest way to go and hardest to see. Okay. For some reason, it's just not really wanting to snap in there. Okay. Now, we get our screw, and we very carefully try and get it to go in that little hole all the way in the back here. And hold the front of it while you turn it, and hope to God it works. It did. Okay, so now we got this here. Some of these, the shaft sticks out like on my other one. I don't think you can see it from here, but I have the whirl wheel on it. This one's not going to have that because the shaft's too short. In order for you to use it on one of these, it would be really, really long stepper. So we'll flip this around too. Okay. Wrong wrench, but we'll flip this around, because our feed point is now just right underneath us. You just go there and jiggle the T-nuts. Yeah, that sounds wrong. You just loosen them and jiggle them and they'll come right out. You don't have to undo the screws. These are some weird things, but that's how they work. You can put it where you want. You know, you can put it off to the side. You can center it. It's probably better to have it off to the side. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. Because what happens is it could get like some resonation when you have it in the middle. And because these don't have... In fact, I'm going to put it right where it was, because I see the marks in the rail from it. They could get sympathetic resonation because of this thing being in the middle. So off to the side over here, closer to a support. Okay. There we go. So our spool holder is flipped around the other way. So now all we have left to do is to go ahead and we deal with this and this. If you really have an issue with your printer, which you shouldn't, because I've already converted a couple of these. Okay, what you do is you run the gantry all the way up. All the way, all the way. So it won't go any further. Okay. See that? It's up all the way. Okay. So this here shouldn't ever really have a problem reaching. Okay. It's a little tight, but it's not too bad. And like I said, you can split this cable as far as you need it to be, but it doesn't matter because even this isn't much longer. But some kits do come with an extension. Now, this is going to follow this, so a good thing to do is actually just not over here because it makes it a little bit further, but like right over here, take these two and just zip tie them. And I'll show you what I'm talking about right here with this other printer that we converted. Okay. See, it's zip tied over here. There's our stepper. It's actually kind of got some weight on it, but what we need to do is just go ahead and pull this thing tighter. And I'm sure there's like some kind of bracket we can print for this. So this one I've got it going around the side. So you have the visualizer wheel over there. So I didn't want it getting in the way of that, but it's basically the same printer. So it's a Neo. That's the only difference. So unfortunately, the brackets are definitely different. The Neo, the hot end is more in the middle, and then the V2 is more off to the side. In fact, you can see it right there. It's all the way on the left. So if it's all the way up like this, you're not going to have any problems. So the other thing you need to check for is you bring it down, put your bed out here, and see, okay, is this cable going to drag on my bed? Yes, it will. So what you do then is you do like I did on the other. You bring them over here, you zip tie them, and it's not going to hang on the bed no more. You don't even have to zip tie this one really, but you see how it's touching right here? So what you want to do, check it here for the maximum travel. So you just want to get it dialed in because there's things that it could do that you're not going to like if you're not careful. Like this one here, I've got to mess with it again. Anyway, that's it for the conversion. So there's a few more things to try and do to get it better, but that's the basics.